Antoinette is out for a service, so I thought it was time to give 3 reasons why we don't use antifoul. Welcome back to the Rudder. My name's Damian. This is Antoinette, our Merry Fisher 895, out on the sling, ready for her annual service. And you can see underneath, I'm going to give her a good clean, but one thing you can note is we do not anti-foul. You'll notice we've got an epoxy coat under here. It just provides a little bit of protection, but certainly you couldn't keep that in the water just by itself. But it does help a little bit, just protecting the boat from extra wear and tear. We're going to go through the top 3 reasons today, and I'm going to do some cleaning as well. You can see the water marking down the side, so get in there and clean all that off. First reason is cost. So to anti-foul your boat, there's literally 3 costs you need to worry about. One is the cost of doing it, which for a boat this size probably at the moment is around $5,000 or $6,000. And then the second part of that is every year you need to re-anti-foul. So while it comes out for a service, we'd also be anti-fouling, and you need to do that in a place, I'm not even sure you can do it at Southport Marina, which is where we are today. You need to be in a specialised place where you can do the anti-foul, and there's another $2,000 or $3,000 a year. And the third part of cost is the running costs. So anti-foul does have more drag on it, even if it's taking sort of half a knot off your cruising speed. It does also collect a little bit more, so there will be a cost to running the boat as you'll use more fuel, have less fuel efficiency. We just had to move, so Antoinette's now in a cradle, ready for the boys from the service to come along. But you can see, anti-foul is not something we use. And one thing we do, because we don't have anti-fouls, we've got the fab dock, which is a system to lift the boat out of the water or to protect the boat from the water. There's a couple of other systems. We like the fab dock because it is completely dry and doesn't mean there's any water next to the hull. Also, the lift systems are pretty complicated, and I see a lot of them sort of slooped over in the water and not doing so well. So number 1 was cost. Number 2 is the environment. The environmental cost of anti-foul, I mean literally the stuff is made to kill, so stuff doesn't grow on your boat. It is a big issue, especially around some marinas. You're not allowed to do anti-fouling. You have to do it in a protected environment. You can't spray it, you've got to roll it. But it comes off over the year. That's why I've got to do it every single year. So that's going into the environment. If you're boating, you enjoy the environment, probably you don't want to put something in it that's going to kill all the marine life. The last factor, which is a bit similar to the first one, which was cost, was just the efficiency. And I just know sometimes with anti-foul, it just doesn't work as well, especially towards the end of the year when you've got anti-foul and there's a little bit of growth on there. Especially on the Gold Coast, for your propellers, you'll have prop speed on them. So if your propellers are in the water and they go through a bit of sand, that prop speed comes straight off, and before you know it, you've got some growth on there. In our previous vessel, literally 2 little barnacles on the prop would stop the boat getting onto the plane. So it does have a massive impact. How much you're dragging underneath your hull will dramatically impact your boating experience. So much so that we've had a couple of times where we didn't go out because we had to go home and couldn't go on the plane. We had to putt everywhere at 6 knots. So not very fun. So that is the third reason. So just before we go, number 1 was cost. And another part of that cost is actually, if you're on a trailable boat, they reckon that your resale value is down 20%. Just think of that, 20% of the cost. So not only you've got the cost of putting it on, the cost of maintaining it every year, but also your resale value. Number 2 is the environment. Just putting all that crap all over your boat's not great. And number 3 is just ruining your boating experience. I hope you like that little reason why we don't use anti-foul on Antoinette, our Merry Fisher 895. It's a big topic of conversation, anti-fouling. If you've got any questions, leave them down below, and we'll see you next time on the Rudder.